In my past life, the first decree Arthur made upon ascending the throne was to shatter my legs, ruin my face, and slaughter my entire tribe. My name is Serena. I was the gift, a sacrificial offering from the Dark Moon tribe to the Winter Wolf royal bloodline. By royal decree, whichever alpha successfully claimed me would command the absolute fealty of the Dark Moon tribe. The old Alpha King had even sworn a sacred oath. The mate I chose would be the one to wear the crown of the Winter Kingdom. Like a blind fool, I chose Prince Arthur, the male I had adored for years. To mend the flaws in his lineage, I committed the ultimate heresy, invoking the forbidden arts of my people to extract my own silver wolf heartblood. I poured my very life essence into him, forcefully awakening the dormant, diluted prime alpha gene within his veins. But the moment the crown touched his head, he turned on me. He ordered my beauty defiled, my limbs broken, and my kin hunted to extinction. The ironclad cavalry of the Winter Wolves trampled the Dark Moon forest into ash. It was once the grandest domain of the North, the sacred cradle of the last spring of revival left by the Moon Goddess.
You think I give a damn about being king? If you hadn't been so shameless, forcing that repulsing mate bond to chain me to your side, Alara and I would have been the freest, most envied pair in all the North.
You drove Alara to a hollow, broken death. Now, I want your life as payment.
A bone-piercing chill, intertwined with agonizing pain, swallowed me whole. As my life ebbed away, I sacrificed my very soul to the Moon Goddess.
I will have my debt paid in blood.
I opened my eyes and found myself back on the day it all began.
Arthi, I'm back.
In my past life, the first decree Arthur made upon ascending the throne was to shatter my legs, ruin my face, and slaughter my entire tribe. My name is Serena. I was the gift, a sacrificial offering from the Dark Moon tribe to the Winter Wolf royal bloodline. By royal decree, whichever alpha successfully claimed me would command the absolute fealty of the Dark Moon tribe. The old Alpha King had even sworn a sacred oath. The mate I chose would be the one to wear the crown of the Winter Kingdom. Like a blind fool, I chose Prince Arthur, the male I had adored for years. To mend the flaws in his lineage, I committed the ultimate heresy, invoking the forbidden arts of my people to extract my own silver wolf heartblood. I poured my very life essence into him, forcefully awakening the dormant, diluted prime alpha gene within his veins. But the moment the crown touched his head, he turned on me. He ordered my beauty defiled, my limbs broken, and my kin hunted to extinction. The ironclad cavalry of the Winter Wolves trampled the Dark Moon forest into ash. It was once the grandest domain of the North, the sacred cradle of the last spring of revival left by the Moon Goddess.
You think I give a damn about being king? If you hadn't been so shameless, forcing that repulsing mate bond to chain me to your side, Alara and I would have been the freest, most envied pair in all the North.
You drove Alara to a hollow, broken death. Now, I want your life as payment.
A bone-piercing chill, intertwined with agonizing pain, swallowed me whole. As my life ebbed away, I sacrificed my very soul to the Moon Goddess.
I will have my debt paid in blood.
I opened my eyes and found myself back on the day it all began.
Arthi, I'm back.
I had actually returned to the day of the blood moon mating ceremony. The old king sat high upon the Iron Throne, looking at me with a benevolent expression, though his ancient eyes were filled with calculation and hope.
Serena, look closely at these disappointing alphas of the Winter Royal family. Which of them is worthy of your bloodline and fortunate enough to become your mate?
I didn't see answer immediately. Instead, I turned my gaze in a specific direction, toward Arthur, the mate I had chosen in my past life. He stood expressionless, his back rigid and straight, his gaze _the crowd, landing clingingly on the Omega, Alara, who stood below the doors. Sensing my stare, he quickly withdrawn his eyes, a flash of impatient despair crossing his face. I sneered inwardly. Arthur, since you value absolute power and the throne less than a low-ranking Omega reeking of cheap, sickeningly sweet pheromones, I will gladly grant your wish. Below the dais, nobles draped in luxurious furs whispered among themselves.
Everyone in the keep knows Princess Serena is completely bewitched by Prince Arthur. Today's blood moon bonding is just a formality.
Arthur is truly lucky. His wolf form is so weak, yet he managed to win the princess's favor, easily securing the throne.
Everyone waited in anticipation, expecting me to walk toward Arthur with eyes full of love, just as I had in my past life. The alliance had lasted for a century, and in this generation, I was the sole pure-blood silver wolf princess. To possess me was to secure the protection of the North's vastest dark forests and its ancient magic. I smiled and leaned in to whisper into the old king's ear. The old king looked pleased, nodding continuously before turning to look at Arthur. Arthur's face instantly paled. He pushed through the crowd, dropping heavily to one knee before the old Alpha King and bowing his head.
Sire, I am honored by Princess Serena's misguided affection. I know this bonding concerns the kingdom's lifeblood, and I am willing to accept the princess. However, from the very moment I laid eyes on Alara, I felt a pull to her very soul, a connection Serena could not give me.
I beseech you, sire, grant my request.
I wish to renounce my mate bond with Serena and claim Alara as my true mate.
Insolent! Father, hear me out!
I know Serena is hopelessly devoted to me. To appease the other tribes, we can simply claim Serena as my wife in name only. But the actual mate bond must be forged with Alara.
Enough!
Before Arthur could finish, the old Alpha King rebuked him harshly. The old Alpha King's face flushed crimson, his chest heaving as the terrifying aura of a top-tier alpha swept through the hall, suffocating the surrounding nobles.
What status does that low-ranked Omega of unknown origins have to delusionally think she can sit as an equal with the Dark Moon Princess? You are out of your mind!
Withstanding the old Alpha King's furious area, Arthur clenched his jaw and stood firmly in front of Alara to shield her.
Alara's bloodline may not be as noble as the princess's.
What status does that low-ranking Omega of unknown origins have?
But precisely because of that, I must stand up for her. If I cannot even protect my beloved Omega, how will I protect the subjects of the North in the future?
At Arthur's word, the old Alpha King could not hide his disappointment, and the couriers below sighed continuously. In Arthur's heart, did the ancient magic of the Dark Moon Forest and the easily attainable throne really pale in comparison to a mere Omega?
The old Alpha King sighed deeply, confirming one last time.
Arthur, are you absolutely determined to choose that Omega?
Arthur nodded slowly, his tone resolute.
I beg, Father, to grant this!
The moment his words fell, a tearing, agonizing pain erupted in my chest. It was the physical backlash of the mate bond being unilaterally severed. A heavy stench of blood surged in the back of my throat, and my fingernails instantly shifted into silver blades, digging fiercely into my palms to force down the mouthful of blood that nearly spewed out. It hurt, but this pain was not even a fraction of the agony I endured at the bottom of that icy abyss in my past life. Seeing Arthur so stubbornly set on his path, the old Alpha King looked at me with deep guilt, waved his hand helplessly.
Dismissed. The ceremony will be rescheduled.
I lipped a trace of blood slipping from the corner of my lips, watching Arthur and Alara holding each other tightly in the center of the great hall, acting as if they had won the world. I pulled my gaze away from Arthur, past the gossiping nobles, my eyes locked on the darkest corner. A towering silhouette lurked there, but he is the only true Prime Alpha. You threw away the throne, Arthur. This time, I give it to a real monster.
The old Alpha King stormed out in a fit of rage, leaving only the hushed, gossiping whispers of the nobility echoing in the great hall. I descended the steps of the high dais, walking into the center of the hall, my eyes fixed on its deepest, most secluded shadow. As I passed through the center of the hall, Arthur was already holding that frail Omega tightly in his arms. He had misinterpreted the old Alpha King's delay, whispering to comfort the woman in his embrace.
Alara, did you hear that? Father didn't outright refuse.
Soon, I will give you a proper title, and we will be together forever.
Alara lowered her eyelashes in moved devotion. She looked exactly like a shivering white rabbit tossed into a wolf's den. Just as I was about to walk past them, she acted as if she was startled by my presence. She violently shrank back into Arthur's arms, offering me a timid, trembling curtsy. Before I could even speak, Arthur pulled her back into his protective hold, his gaze stabbing toward me like an icy blade.
Serena, if you any dissatisfaction, take it out on me. Don't vent your anger on Alara.
She has a weak constitution and cannot withstand the oppressive aura of a high-ranking alpha. In the future, you two will share equal status, so these ridiculous formulas will be waived.
I looked at him coldly, finding it almost laughable. I hadn't even lifted a single finger, yet he actually believed I was using my alpha rank pressure to bully his beloved Omega. Furthermore, had this idiot misunderstood something? The old Alpha King had merely announced that the ceremony was postponed. Where on earth did he get the confidence to think I would still bond with him? Seeing Arthur defend her so publicly, Alara shyly tugged at his sleeve, her voice so soft it practically dripped water.
Your Highness, as long as I can be with you, I am willing to be an untitled consort. Please don't argue with the princess because of me. You are going to rule the North in the future.
These passive-aggressive words made Arthur want to coddle her into his very bones.
Silly girl.
Arthur glanced at me, his face full of arrogance.
Flowing through my veins is the awakened prime alpha blood. When I ascend the throne, the entire North will submit to me. Why should I care about a woman's mood?
He stepped toward me, his voice dropping to a dark, threatening whisper only the two of us could hear.
Serena, you'd best behave. If you stay obedient when I take the throne, you sacrificed to me back then. I might bestow a place for you so you have something to rely on in the keep. Otherwise...
In my previous life, Alara accidentally fell into the freezing lake by the keep. Although she was rescued by patrolling guards, her lungs were severely damaged by the icy water, leaving her bedridden until she died of organ failure a few years later. Arthur stubbornly blamed it all on me. He believed I deliberately ignored her cries for help and intentionally delayed the rescue. Because of that, he tortured me and even took his wrath out by slaughtering my entire Dark Lord tribe. Looking at this foolish man who couldn't tell right from wrong, the murderous intent in my heart nearly burst forth. He actually thought he carried the destiny of an ancient wolf emperor. It was the biggest joke in the North. I suppressed the surging violence in my eyes and pulled my lips into a cold smile.
Devotion to Lady Alara is truly profound. In that case, I prematurely congratulate you both, hoping your bloodline will be as enduring as your love.
Arthur scrutinized me with some surprise, seemingly trying to find jealousy or insincerity in my expression, but he was destined to be disappointed. Without any lingering attachment, I walked past him toward the darkest, most secluded corner of the great hall. There, a tall, silent figure was hidden in the shadows. Bound in heavy dark iron shackles and covered in terrifying old scars, he bore the marks of a royal killing machine, an abandoned pawn. It was Fenrir. In my previous life, when Arthur nailed me into the silver coffin at the end of the darkness and despair, I heard the sound of him frantically swinging his broadsword to shatter his chains. He screamed my name as a volley of arrows pierced his body, his last drop of warm blood falling onto my fingertips. At that moment, I finally saw clearly what a pure and dazzling soul was hidden beneath the shell. They called a beast. I stopped in front of Fenrir. He sensed my approach, his body instantly tensing like a black panther ready to strike. Those heterochromatic eyes were full of vigilance, suppression, and a trace of imperceptible longing. I reached out, my fingertips gently touching his cold, rough iron chains.
Fenrag, in 7 days, I will be waiting for you. You won't disappoint me, right?
Fenrir didn't speak, but in that moment, I clearly saw deep within his soul that dormant, liquid gold flame of true imperial power fiercely jolt at my touch. Arthur suspiciously followed me over.
Serena, what madness has taken you? That is father's dog, a lowly bastard. You're actually touching a foul-smelling beast like him?
I turned around, looked at Arthur's self-righteous face, and raised an eyebrow provocatively.
Arthur, I gave you a chance. Unfortunately, you chose hell. I told you, the man I will marry was never going to be. I told you, the man I will marry was never.
Arthur, don't be angry.
Ilara rolled her eyes thoughtfully and spoke up before I could, her voice delicate as if trying to smooth things over for me.
Arthur, don't be angry. Although Commander Fënor has a lowly bloodline, he is still a knight protecting the keep. The princess's pity toward him is merely the benevolency of the Dark Moon tribe.
Arthur scoffed coldly.
No matter the pity, he is still a bastard who doesn't even know who his father is! Serena, you better mind your boundaries and don't get tainted by the stench of such a lower life form.
I had had enough of their passive-aggressive remarks and raised an eyebrow.
I merely exchanged a few words with the Empire's commander. Speaking of boundaries, Ilara, an unmarked omega who clings to the future crown prince all day like a parasitic vine, must surely have a deeper understanding of the word.
Ilara's face instantly went deathly pale. Afraid she would overthink it, Arthur glared at me fiercely and hurriedly bowed his head to comfort the woman in his arms. I curled the corner of my lips, turned, and left the nauseating hall, returning to my bedchamber in the tower, looking at all the traces Arthur had left behind over the years. A strong sense of disgust churned in my stomach. When we first met, he gave me a dire wolf tooth necklace, which I used to wear close to my skin as a treasured possession. But looking at it now, it seemed stained with the blood of my Dark Moon tribespeople from my past life. With my own hands, I swept everything in sight related to him into a wooden chest. It wasn't until the sky began to lighting that I collapsed exhausted onto the velvet bed. The suffocating darkness of the icy abyss from my previous life morphed into a nightmare so terrifyingly real. When I woke up again, 3 whole days had passed.
Princess, you're finally awake! The rumors outside have practically flooded the tower!
My personal maid, Ivy, stumped her feet.
You don't know, but these past 3 days, Prince Arthur has been treating that Alara so well to please her. He actually spent a massive amount of fire element magic stones to build her a glass greenhouse in the freezing snow just to plant her favorite white roses. Alara said her body was too weak for the extreme cold, so Arthur directly ordered a whole carriage of the Moonlight Cloud Silk, a tribute from the elves in the royal treasury, to be sent to her room for new dresses.
I gave a dismissive smirk.
Princess, how can you still smile at a time like this? Prince Arthur is protecting that two-faced snake as if she were his own eyeballs. If you really bond with him, won't it be the same as being cast aside?
All right, Ivy. Didn't I tell you? I'm not choosing him anymore. With a loud bang, the heavy oak door was violently pushed open. Arthur strode in. With a loud bang, the heavy oak door was violently pushed open. Arthur strode in, having heard my words clearly. A trace of shock flashed in his eyes, quickly replaced by his usual arrogance and contempt.
Serena, if you really don't want to bond with me, why didn't you protest to father? You're just jealous of how well I treat Ilara. You deliberately talked to that lowly bastard Fenrir, playing hard to get, trying to force me to coax you the same way.
I silently rolled my eyes. How blind was I in my past life to have missed how self-righteous and unreasonable Arthur was. Seeing me stay silent, Arthur walked straight to my vanity, his tone sounding like he was granting a favor.
I came today to inform you.
half of the revival mana crystals and ancient artifacts you brought. As your dowry from the Dark Moon tribe, I have ordered moved to Alara's room. Don't worry, I don't covet your tribe's things. It's just that Alara's origins are humble, so I need to use these rare artifacts to bolster her status, lest the other nobles look down on her at the ceremony in 7 days.
I snapped my head up, staring at him in disbelief.
Arthur, those are the sacred relics my father prepared for me, exhausting the tribe's resources to ensure I had a foothold in the Winterkeep.
What gives you the right to give them away to please an outsider without my permission? I had left my home since childhood. My father loved me dearly, and every dowry artifact contained his utmost love and protection. If you care for Alara so much, why not open your own private vault?
Could it be that the Grand Crown Prince of the Winter Wolves, who speaks constantly of true love, is actually a shameless thief? Who is generous at the expense of others?
Shut up! Oh!
Knowing he was in the wrong, Arthur's face turned incredibly ugly, and his alpha aura faintly seeped out.
I am merely giving you an opportunity to show goodwill to Alara.
In exchange, on the night of our bonding, I will enter your room, bite the back of your neck, and leave you with the royal mate mark, preserving your dignity as the Dark Moon Princess.
He paused, his gaze becoming icy and condescending.
However, I promised Alara that aside from marking you, I will absolutely not touch you. After midnight, I will go to her room to spend my true wedding night.
Arthur looked haughty. I laughed out loud. I never said I would choose you at this bonding ceremony. Arthur, return the Dark Moon tribe's artifacts to me. Arthur frowned, seemingly sensing that the coldness in my eyes wasn't an act. He was about to lash out when his gaze swept to the corner of the room to the wooden chest I had just packed, topped with a direwolf tooth necklace. His tense shoulders instantly relaxed, and his eyes became certain and full of mockery again.
Serena, I know you're upset, deliberately saying these harsh things to spite me.
He pointed at the wooden box.
If you've really given up on me, why can't you even bear to throw away this junk?
Under his smug gaze, I walked expressionlessly to the wooden chest. I grabbed the heavy wolf tooth necklace and the cheap magic crystals he had given me and walked to the edge of the tower's balcony. The biting cold wind whipped my long hair. I threw the necklace and the crystal without hesitation into the bottomless abyss of the ice lake.
Serena, what are you doing?
Since it's trash, it belongs where trash belongs. Take care. I won't see you out.
You... well...
The room fell quiet again. I didn't slump weakly to the floor to cry like I did in my past life. Instead, I tightly clenched my fists. Father, your daughter was useless in her past life, unable to even protect her own dowry. But in this life, for everything they take from the Dark Moon tribe, I will make them pay with their lives. 7 days later, the Blood Moon mating ceremony resumed. 𝒆𝒃𝒐𝒓𝒏 Serena in the Dark Moon tribe's silver light armor, a black wolf fur cloak, and the dark silver thorn crown of a pureblood princess. Outside, Arthur, riding a tamed snowbeast in his flashy gold and red suit, stopped beneath her tower.
What, weren't you acting tough saying you wouldn't choose me? Yet here you are, waiting for me.
Then he saw the thorn crown, and his face darkened.
Serena! How dare you wear the Lunar Queen's crown! Men, take it off!
The fully armed royal guards obeyed Arthur's orders and charged forward aggressively, trying to restrain my shoulders. The silver claws at my fingertips instantly sprang out.
Stop!
Ready to slit their throats. A deep, rough voice with absolute pressure exploded like thunder in the wind and snow. Fenrir arrived, quickly knocked the guards down, and then shielded me in front of him. Before Arthur could react, the terrifying alpha pheromones radiating from him felt like an erupting volcano, instantly suffocating the surrounding lower-ranking werewolves.
Fenlog, you royal dog! Let go of the future crown, Miss Ness!
My bonding with Princess Serena was ordered by the old Alpha King. Are you defying a royal decree?
Serena, you hired this bastard to stage a bride-snatching act? Tell this peasant who your alpha really is.
I stepped out from behind Fenrir, took his scarred hand in mine, raised it high, and smirked at Arthur. As you can see, I've told you more than once. The alpha I choose was never you. I've told you more than once. The alpha I choose was never you.
Arthur staggered in disbelief.
Impossible! You love me! You drained your life force to save me!
He lunged at us,
Unfilful son!
but the old Alpha King's roar stopped him.
Have you made enough of a scene?
The king strode over with his elders.
Father! You swore under the sacred tree that Serena's chosen mate would be the crown prince! Is a lowly bastard! He has no right to bond with the princess!
The old Alpha King's eyes narrowed. Then his voice boomed across the square.
What if I say he does have the right?
Impossible!
Arthur froze, his arrogant expression turning comical.
Father, what do you mean?
The old Alpha King ignored him, gesturing to the High Priest.
Read the oracle.
The High Priest unrolled 2 decrees. The first declared my blood moon binding with 𝒉𝒄. The second revealed 𝒉𝒄's true bloodline. He was the king's son by a female warrior with ancient werewolf lineage, hidden for 20 years in a death row camp under dark iron shackles to protect him from assassination. Now, his shackles were lifted, and he was named the new Crown Prince. Arthur had failed his duties for a pretentious Omega, so the king had no choice but to bring Fenwon into the light. As the priest chanted, Fenrir's shackles shattered. His pure, devastating prime alpha aura swept through the plaza, forcing every noble who had mocked him to their knees. In my past life, Arthur had learned of Fenrir's identity and used me as bait to kill him with arrows. But now everything is changed. The old Alpha King urged Fendon not to miss the blood moon's auspicious moment. Fendon's savage hostility melted into tenderness as he brushed snow from my shoulder, lifted me onto a massive shadow snow beast. Arthur finally snapped out of his daze, grabbing the reins.
Serena, don't bond with him! I'm the one you truly love! You're just angry about Alora! Come down, I'll beg Father to make you the only Luna!
I didn't even need to respond. 𝒉𝒄 kicked him hard, sending him flying 10 meters through the snow. In the blizzard, the snow beast carried me into Fenroc's obsidian fortress. It was the most remote yet tallest tower in the Winter Keep. That night, the blood moon hung high. Rough black leather tangled with fine, dark silver hair. That night, the blood moon hung high. Rough black leather tangled with fine, dark silver hair, and primal, wild pheromones wrapped in scorching heat entirely swallowed me. The mate mark pierced deeply into the scent gland at the back of my neck, and the trembling sensation of our souls intertwining barely subsided by daybreak. The next morning, sore and grumpy, I watched 𝒉𝒄 walk in with warm meat stew. On the battlefield, he was cold as death, but in bed, a crazed wolf. He chucked, scooped me up, and slid an Ostidian hairpin carved with a dark moon totem into my silver hair.
Since the day you first smiled at me on the ice field, I've wanted to put this in your hair.
Thinking of his tragic death in my past life, I broke down crying in his arms. Outside our chamber, I saw a vast patch of moonlight revival grass blooming in the snow.
Your Highness, all of these were planted by Lord Fenix personally.
My maid Ivy revealed that Fenrir had collected seeds each time he passed the Dark Moon Forest and planted them with his own hands, afraid I would miss home. I turned to look at him. His ears reddened as he awkwardly looked away. Later, we ran into Arthur and Alara in the royal corridor. Arthur was disheveled, Alara heavily dressed but exhausted. Ivy whispered that Arthur hadn't marked Alara at all, not even touched her. He had abandoned her on their mating night. Arthur stumbled toward me, eyes desperate.
Last night I didn't mark Alara.
I don't care. I cut him off coldly, pulled 𝒉𝒄 away. Arthur tried to grab my cloak, but 𝒉𝒄's aura knocked him back.
Don't go! 10 years ago, when I was pushed into the ice lake, I overheard Alara arguing last night. She wasn't the one who saved me, it was you. You used your pure blood to save my life. She stole the credit.
I looked at his agonized face and sneered. So what? Whoever saved you is whoever you love. Your love is cheap and disgusting. Fenric wrapped an arm around my waist and led me to leave Arthur with only a
Called back. After the royal audience, Fenrir used our marriage as a pretext to directly request a leave of absence from the old Alpha King. He didn't trap me in the lifeless keep. Instead, he took me to inspect the northern defenses and even escorted me back to the edges of the Dark Moon Forest. In Fenrir's territory, I didn't need to abide by royal etiquette. We could shift into wolves and sprint wildly through the Black Forest. Tearing into roasted meat by the campfire. This freedom and indulgence lasted for a whole month before I returned to the Obsidian Fortress, still wanting more.
Ivy eagerly gossiped. Arthur had begged the king to revoke our bonding deed. The king forced him to kneel in a blizzard. Arthur had begged the king to revoke our bonding deed. The king forced him to kneel in a blizzard for 8 hours. Meanwhile, 𝒆𝒄𝒃, desperate, bought a black market @𝒆𝒄𝒄𝒏 and drugged Arthur. When he woke, he slapped her, confined her, and stripped her privileges.
Now all the northern nobles laughed at them.
At the winter solstice festival, I entered in a sleek crown princess gown, nourished by Fengor's pheromones, radiating a dangerous brilliance. Arthur shoved nobles aside to reach me.
Serena, forgive me. I dove into the ice lake and retrieved all your dowry artifacts, even the direwolf tooth necklace.
He presented them like a begging dog. Then 𝒆𝒄𝒃 began dry humping. Noble women gasped. Could she be carrying a pup? Arthur's face twisted in terror, not joy. Arthur, this is what you meant by you're the only one in my heart? He panicked, blaming the 𝒆𝒄𝒃. 𝒆𝒄𝒃 tried to cling to him, but he threw her off.
You caused this just to disgust Serena!
The banquet ended. Arthur blocked our carriage, eyes bloodshot.
If he dies, will you return to me?
I slapped him hard, leaving bloody claw marks across his face. You disgust me. Fenok lifted me into the carriage, looking at Arthur like a corpse. Arthur's venom became real. Midwinter, tens of thousands of feral rogues attacked the northern wall. Arthur rallied his faction.
Send Fenok to the front!
Demanding Fenrock be sent to the front lines, a meat grinder. I won't stay behind. I refused to stay behind. For 6 months, I worked in the infirmary, using Dark Moon's secret medicine and my blood to save soldiers, earning immense respect. 6 months later, just before returning to the capital, a dying man was dragged into my tent. It was Arthur, wearing rags, emaciated, reeking of rot.
Serena, I had a nightmare. Serena, I had a nightmare. In the dream, I ascended the throne. I nailed you into a silver coffin, slaughtered the wolves of the Dark Moon Forest.
I realized he was under the Dark Moon Tribe's forbidden blood curse, experiencing past life nightmares. While I was gone, he had abandoned royal affairs. 𝒆𝒄𝒃, desperate for status, had seduced low-ranking guards and was caught. The king had her poisoned. Arthur, tormented by nightmares, dragged himself to the front lines to beg my forgiveness. A few days later, Arthur died with a wretched wail. A blood crow flew from his chest into the Black Forest. I knew then. Only my father, the Dark Moon Tribe's leader, could cast that curse. He must also remember the past life. Father stepped through the tent flap. I burst into tears. He held me and explained.
When you sacrificed yourself to awaken the reversal array, its power awakened me as well.
Myself to activate the reversal array, the energy awakened him too. He had secretly protected me. During the border uprising, when Arthur hired assassins to kill Fenlog, Father's elite intercepted them all. Then he planted the blood curse to make Arthur relive the agony of the Dark Moon Tribe's slaughter. I watched soldiers toss Arthur's corpse into an incinerator, feeling only peace. Fenok's arms wrapped around me from behind, his voice laced with jealousy.
My Luna, is another Alpha's corpse really that interesting? I want to lock you away so your eyes see only me.
He nuzzled my neck. I turned and smiled, placing his calloused hand on my bare abdomen. You don't need chains. My soul and heart are already thoroughly marked by you. Besides, you now have an even stronger bond. His body went stored, his eyes dilated.
Fenrir, we're having a pup.
In this biting northern blizzard, I had finally grasped everything I cherished.